Today we're making hot, delicious puff puff. If you've been struggling with puff puff, your struggle is over because today I have a professional caterer in the house. So if you're interested in learning how to make puff puff for parties, big scale puff puff, then keep watching. In my kitchen today, I have Abiola from Chopsticks and Grills. She has done small chops catering for me for I think about 3 of my events, and I really love her small chops. Like, I do love it. So I was so happy when she agreed to come to show us how to perfect our puff puff skills for Christmas. For this recipe, you need vanilla extract. This is what she uses for her puff puff. You also need some milk flavor. If you can't find milk flavor, use real milk. They only use this because it's for like big events and you can't use milk all the time. It's expensive. And I'm sure not everybody is going to be able to find this particular product. So like I said, use milk in place of this. We also have all-purpose flour. This is just your normal flour that you get when you go and purchase it. Normal all-purpose flour. I'll put all the measurements in the description box. Another key ingredient you need is yeast for this recipe. So the first step is adding the yeast to the flour. What she has added is about 4 tablespoons of yeast. Like I said, the correct ingredients and measurements will be in the description. So we have sugar here, and this is 2/3 of a cup, so this is not a full cup. So we have about 4 of those, and I'm going to put it in the description box. And then we have the milk powder, which is about 1/2 cup of milk. We have salt to balance the equation, and that's about 2 tablespoons of salt. Now all you have to do is mix to make sure everything is properly incorporated. Now this is the point where you have to pay proper attention because we are adding water to the mixture and we have to get the perfect puff puff dough. So what I want you to focus on is to see the thickness of the batter. That will help you. That way, even if I say use 10 cups of water, you know the right amount to use because you know how it is supposed to feel, how thick it is supposed to be, or how light it is supposed to be. A lot of us, someone like me and a lot of caterers I know, they cook by intuition. So they just listen to, like they said, their ancestors. And if their ancestors say it is okay, they stop. So we just cook by intuition, by our senses of smell, eyes, ears, and everything. So here we're just working on our senses of sight and texture and feeling. You understand? So she just put in a couple of cups of water, but this is not a single cup. This is 2/3 of a cup. So don't think we've put like 10 cups of water. This is 2/3 of a cup. Like I said, go to the description box. That is where all the correct measurements and list of ingredients will be. Because sometimes I have people saying, "SISI, I mean, you said something else in the video, but in the description box is another thing." Sometimes that's what happens, but the correct thing will always be in the description box. So instead of adding water, sometimes you may need to add sugar, and that's because sugar can be a dry and a wet ingredient. So if you taste your puff puff batter right now and you want to know if there's enough sugar, and you taste it and there's not a lot of sugar, and you add some, it can actually loosen the batter. So when you're making puff puff, maybe you're making for 1 million people, always bear that in mind. Even yeast is not a dry ingredient per se, it's dry and wet because yeast will also affect the texture of the batter and make it more liquidy. So it's both wet and dry. It's important to note that the water we used was like regular temperature. For Nigeria, regular temperature, water that comes out from the tap, it's a bit warm. If you're abroad, it would be cold, so heat it up a bit. After mixing for a while, you add a couple of tablespoons of vanilla extract for flavor. We use the whole bottle of vanilla extract for this recipe. Now she's just going to beat it for a few minutes so that she can get the right texture and so that it is properly combined. For those of you saying, "Sisi, this is party puff puff. I don't want to cook for a crowd. I just want small portion puff puff." I got you. See, on my channel, I have different types of puff puff recipes. In fact, the most popular video on my channel is puff puff. It has over 1.7 million views. That lets you know that recipe is a banger. So make sure you check that out. I have puff puff for families. I have individual portion puff puff. If it's only you and you want puff puff, I have the recipe for that. So I'm going to link all of them in the description box. This is the texture you want for your puff puff. It's not runny, it's a bit firm so that you can mold those puff puff balls. And as you can see, the texture is really, really beautiful. Now we're going to cover it and put it under the sun. It will stay under the sun for about 30 minutes. In other news, I can see my water leaf growing. Afang is going to happen very, very soon. It's been growing so fast. I've just had a lot of water leaf around in my backyard. I'm so happy about it. After 30 minutes, the batter has risen. It has doubled in size. So we're just going to get ready to fry. So you need a deep, wide pan so that the puff puff can drop in and float to the top. So if you use something very shallow, it will not work. You can't use fry pan. It has to be a bit deep, okay? And you need a lot of oil. If you don't like to see oil, aka ororo, boya could look away right now. Close your eyes. I don't want to offend you. Someone asked in the comment section, "Sisi, can we do air fry puff puff?" I don't tell Una before. Eat puff puff with your chest. If you want to eat puff puff, eat puff puff. There's nothing right now like air fried puff puff. You can try it. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is a lot of oil, so unhealthy." But do you eat puff puff every day? Do you eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? This is something a lot of us eat at parties and special events. So I wouldn't count it as something that would just make you fat if you eat it once in a month or once in a couple of months. I want you guys to observe how she's just rolling that puff puff and how she's just getting the right shape. So this puff puff is going to feed about 100 people, 100 guests if you portion it properly. So this puff puff can actually feed maybe only 10 people if 10 people eat like a whole pot of puff puff. So it depends on how you're serving your puff puff. But she said this amount of dough is going to make puff puff for 100 guests if it was an event. So you are covered for your parties for Christmas. Use this recipe. You're going to love it. If you want more recipes from me, please make sure you subscribe. And if you're subscribed, please, you have to turn on the notification bell. It is a bell beside the subscribe button. Once you click on it, you get notified anytime I upload a recipe. Because I get people saying, "Sisi, I didn't know you uploaded." I uploaded, but you did not click the notification button, so they won't let you know I uploaded. So please click the notification button, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and click the like button on this video. Very important. This was the first batch of puff puff, and sometimes that's always the experiment. The temperature was a bit high, and when you're making puff puff, you need to make sure your temperature is just right, like just in the middle. If it's too hot, your puff puff will burn and it wouldn't cook inside. And if it's not hot enough, your puff puff will soak oil and it will be nasty. My industrial cooker does not have middle temperature. It just goes vroom vroom. It just heats up so fast. So it does take a lot of adjusting to get the right temperature. But once we got it, our puff puff were perfect. This was a lot of puff puff to do, and Abiola really did a great job. We did about 6 rounds of frying, or more than 6 even, and we had so much puff puff left over. Some of you guys were like, "Sisi, when you do these bulk cooking videos, what do you use the rest of the food for?" So we give them to anyone that's around. So we shared this puff puff for the security officials where I live, and they were very, very happy to get like fresh hot puff puff. If you're thinking about going into small chops business, because I believe it's a very lucrative business, then you should reach out to Abiola. She has cooking classes, small chops classes that she does from time to time. I'm going to put all her details in the description box so you guys can reach out to her. If you have events this Christmas, small events, big events, reach out to her. She's your girl. She's going to do your small chops for you, and it's going to be perfect. Like, she'll do it in your house perfectly. She has done catering for me about 3 times, and I really like her. She's my go-to person for small chops when I have parties. They do all manners of platters. You don't even need to have a party. If you just want to order small chops and grills, oh, her grilled chicken is amazing. So if you just want to order small chops, call her. She will send it to you wherever you are in Lagos. Look at those golden balls of puff puff. See, whenever I see puff puff, it makes me very, very happy, because I think it reminds me of my grandma from my father's side. So that's my paternal grandma. She's late now. I have memories of visiting our hometown, and when we wake up in the morning, she wakes us with hot puff puff. There's somebody that used to hawk puff puff, and I think that's my earliest memory of puff puff. That was when I fell in love with puff puff, and I always used to look forward to her. It was always so nice. And in that puff puff, they used to add pepper, but this one they didn't add pepper. Maybe that's where my love for pepper started. Who knows? Shout out to Abiola for coming over today and for making a fun day out of this puff puff experience. It was so beautiful just to have someone to chat with. She's so fun and lively. I will allow her introduce herself.
My name is Abiola Bobo. I'm a caterer. I run Chopsticks and Grill Kitchen. So if you want to contact us, we're on Instagram at Chopsticks, and the sticks is STIX_grills with S. Then you can call us on 08059663987. That number is also on WhatsApp.
Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share it on social media. I would love to see it. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.